I know that one that's been back and forth on what healthcare could look like in America is the very notable director Michael Moore, the filmmaker. Michael Moore is actually in Michigan. We've got him. Hello, sir. Congratulations.
Thanks. Again. George.
For all the debate, Michael, nice to see you again, by the way. This is a big day, isn't it?
We're just like Canada. We're just like Canada.
Well, not exactly.
No, not exactly. Not exactly. In fact, even the way that you described it was really a nice way of putting it. Well, of course, that is your nature. But in fact, the 32 million won't actually have health care as a result of this. They'll have access to it. And the pre-existing condition rule won't be thrown out for 4 years for adults. So the next 4 years, insurance companies can still deny somebody insurance if they have a pre-existing condition. It's only children, and isn't this really what's really great about us, that 6 months after the bill is signed, we're going to actually let kids who get sick see a doctor.
That's a big thing.
Applause, right? Please. Come on. Come on.
So in a sense,
that's just who we are, George.
You care. You care.
But that's the kind of people we are. That's right.
But it is a big step. I mean, President Obama, you heard in the clip there, sort of said this was the first stone, which was really important because he didn't even say this was a foundation being poured. It was just a small step, but it is a step.
Exactly. When men got the right to vote here back in the 1700s, that was a good step. And another 150 years later, women got to vote. So I realize things do have to happen slowly and in increments. Although Abraham Lincoln kind of had it right, he didn't think that you should be able, he thought it would be wrong to free 70% of the slaves and let 30% still be slaves, which is essentially what we're going to have. We're still going to have, of the 47 million who don't have health insurance right now, 15 million will still be without, or almost half of Canada really, will be without health insurance, 15 million people. And the worst thing about this is that the private insurance companies are still going to control the whole thing. They're still going to call all the shots. And it's a big day for them. Actually, I don't know why they're so upset about the bill passing, because with all these new customers that are going to be forced to buy insurance from them, their profits are going to go up as a result of this. So it's a big day for big insurance in this country.
So is this a mirage then? Is this victory a mirage for the president?
No, look, it is what you said. It is a small step. It is good that finally we're going to treat our children in a humane and civilized way. Young people up to the age of 26 now will be able to stay on their parents' insurance if their parents do have insurance. That's a good thing. So there's good things here, but we do not have universal health care. We are nowhere near it. The other side did a very good job of scaring again. I mean, you've got your guest on shortly who's going to scare people's pants off. But that's exactly how Canada was used during this debate, where Americans were told that you guys are lined up around the block and down 2 miles away from the doctor's office, just waiting to get in, and dying on the streets as a result of not being able to see a doctor.
That's if we can find a doctor.
In Canada. I mean, we have pictures of you in canoes or on the backs of baby seals being carried to remote locations to find a doctor. So that's what the American people essentially were told, and were lied. I mean, I was just watching Bill Maher here on HBO the other night, and he had a guy on there who said, yeah, you know, the Canadians, they pay 40% of their taxes for this. And I'm going, no, they don't. You pay 21% in federal and provincial tax in British Columbia. You pay 28% in Quebec. We pay about 22%. You're able to do this for less money. You live longer as a result of all of your health care, 3 to 4 years longer than we do. And for paying those outrageous taxes, you get other things, like your kids get to go to college for tuition that's at least 50% less than what a normal American kid pays to go to college. So, you know, whatever you do, just keep doing what you're doing, do more of it, and don't elect people who want to be like us.
But you know, there's an Just because for a lot of Canadians, there is, when you hear the idea of rejecting the notion of universal health care, it does kind of, a lot of Canadians, a lot of people who live in a country where they have it, man, don't understand the aversion to it. Is it about the fact that people feel, because it's a country of 300 million plus, that they fear it'll bankrupt America? Is it about liberty? Is it the idea that Americans just don't like to be told what to do, even if it's for their own good?
Well, yes, that's the stupid part of it, where, it's like, damn it, I'm an American. I get sick, I can take care of myself. Shock and awe. I'll just shock and awe that cancer out of me. And but the other part of it is that there's some racism involved in this, because those who are the have-nots, those who are the poorest in our society, unfortunately, are people of color, and a lot of angry white guys, and you saw them on the news this weekend, don't want to help out those who are hurting. So that's a tragic part of who we are, and it's deep in our history, and we haven't quite exorcised ourselves of it, even though we did a great thing a year and a half ago by electing Barack Obama.
That's true. That, I mean, those first two things you talked about are legitimate, but I suppose there are some legitimate, financial implications. I mean, Canada has a flawed healthcare system. It works to a degree, but we have 30-odd million people, and the prospect of multiplying that by 10 is, no country feels like they could incur that sort of debt. I mean, so I think a lot of critics are worried about that, economically speaking.
Yeah, but if you multiplied your population by 10, and by the way, Canadians, don't go to bed tonight trying to do that, okay? But if you did do that, I mean, you'd have that many more people contributing to the tax base and all these things. It really isn't. I don't think it's that. I think that we just haven't had the will to want to do what is the humane and civilized thing. And I think that somehow I'd like to ask the question: how did you guys, make this happen? I mean, what is it in you? Because I don't think you're necessarily better than we are. I mean, we share a lot of the same culture and things. So why is it that you all feel that that you should let everybody in the line?
Well,
that means sometimes
it's a maverick, right?
I know that means sometimes the line is longer.
Sure, but it's about a maverick. I know Palin and McCain like that word, but it was in a province called Saskatchewan where one premier balanced the budget for 17 years and brought in universal health care for his province, thus forcing the country to address it. So that was one person in one part of the country, because health care is managed provincially here. So in a sense, can a governor, can a state senator, that's where it has to be proven that it can work for the rest of the country to go, hey, I want me some of that.
Well, Hawaii does it to a pretty good extent. And speaking of provincial premiers, by the way, Danny Williams, Newfoundland, next time, find a doctor up there.
Not great optics. Hey, man, listen, speaking of other jobs, you suggested you should place Rahm Emanuel. How's that application process going?
Well, I may be having a more difficult time of it today, because the Democrats actually found a little spine in themselves over the weekend. So this is what I offered to President Obama, that I will come there and work for $1 a year. Just give me a cot in the basement of the White House. I'll get Obama up every morning. I'll have a whistle around my neck, and I'll get the fight in him, and we'll go up to Capitol Hill, and we'll knock him around a bit and get these things done that we need done. We haven't had one single banking regulation put back in place since the crash of '08, so another crash is just waiting to happen. We still have 15 million people out of work. There's all these things that need to happen. And I'm telling you, the Republicans aren't going to help. They're just going to stand in the way and say no. And the Democrats have got to quit. They've got to put the 6-string guitar away and quit singing Kumbaya with trying to get these Republicans to like them. They don't like them, and they're in charge, and they should act like it.
If you were going to take Rahm Emanuel's job, would you also, without a towel, point fingers at people in the sauna?
I actually have showered with Rahm Emanuel, and I don't know what to say about that, other than I wasn't swayed.
No. By the way, we're talking about the economic crash. Michael's got that film, which is on DVD, Capitalism: A Love Story, which is available. It's a hell of a look at the way the money system works, both economically and emotionally in the United States. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, great to see you, folks. Thank you, Canada. All right.
Michael Moore, everybody.